Good evening, you're to the point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. A face-off that has been building over weeks might go kinetic tomorrow. What exactly am I saying? Well, Kangana Ranaut versus the government of Maharashtra for 3 weeks running. There have been allegations, there's been a Twitter war, there have been charges, there have been counter-charges, there have been lots of unsavory language and name-calling. However, Kangana Ranaut in about 12 hours will land in Mumbai. That eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation that we were talking about with Kangana Ranaut on one side, the Maharashtra government on one side, could actually implode or explode. Which way will things go? What's been the build-up all about? And especially when it comes down to the security according to Kangana Ranaut. Why plus security? Why is that being questioned today? All of that right here and to the point.
नहीं हम लोग मुंबई जा रहे हैं जी अगर वो लड़की माफी मांगेगी महाराष्ट्र की तो मैं सोचूंगा.
In less than 24 hours, the Kangana versus government of Maharashtra confrontation could turn kinetic. In less than 24 hours, Kangana will be in Mumbai challenging the off-late tamed tiger. Will the Shiv Sena resort to its old ways of muscular regional politics? Will Kangana face the wrath of regional pride once again invoked and appropriated by the Shiv Sena? The backdrop to the face-off has been building over days of Twitter wars, allegations, name-calling and outright derogatory statements. From Kangana calling Mumbai POK, comparing it to Taliban, to being issued open threats in return by the Sena, threats of violence, and being the center of unsavory commentary.
संजय जी, मैं आपकी निंदा करती हूँ, आप महाराष्ट्र नहीं हैं. आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि मैंने महाराष्ट्र की निंदा की. और संजय जी, मैं 9 सितंबर को आ रही हूँ. आपके लोग कह रहे हैं कि आप लोग मेरा जबड़ा तोड़ दें. आप लोग मुझे मारिए. क्यों? क्योंकि इस देश की जो मिट्टी है वो ऐसे ही खून से सींच कर इस देश की जो गरिमा है और अस्मिता के लिए न जाने कितने लोगों ने अपनी जान दी है. और हम भी देंगे संजय जी.
हमारे महाराष्ट्र में हम जब बात करते हैं तो हम तू हरामखोर है, यानी तू बहुत नॉटी है, नॉटी. और दूसरा है कि बेईमान है. मुंबई के बारे में, आप मुंबई में रहते हो, कोई भी व्यक्ति मुंबई में रहते हैं, मुंबई देश में अगर देश के साथ इस प्रकार से कोई व्यवहार कर, मैं बोलता हूँ, हम लोग बोलते हैं अरे ये तो बेईमानी है. हमारी भाषा में मैंने बेईमान कहा.
The latest now, Shiv Sena-controlled BMC has found misuse of permissions at Kangana's office in Mumbai, only after her being on the warpath with the Maharashtra government. Moreover, the state government will now investigate an old drug charge against Kangana, made by her ex-boyfriend Adhyayan Suman, wherein he had stated she used to take a variety of drugs. The battle between Kangana and the government of Maharashtra is also being read by many as a battle between the centre and the state of Maharashtra, with Kangana being made a pawn to settle scores. The Y+ security being provided to Kangana by the centre is being questioned by the opposition, with only 15 people in India have been provided Y+ security. They are guarded by 11 CRPF personnel. Kangana Ranaut now has the same level of security as the Chief Justice of India and the Union Law Minister. The others provided this level of security are the likes of Kapil Mishra, BJP leader, Sakshi Maharaj, BJP leader, or Sachin Pilot, Congress leader. There are also parallels being drawn with actor Deepika Padukone. When during the protests against the film Padmavat by the Karni Sena, there was actual violence, arson, where even a bounty of 1 to 10 crores was announced to cut off her nose, even her head. One such threat was given by a BJP office bearer. At the time, Deepika was provided a mere security cover by the Mumbai police, which is negligible when compared to Y+ security cover given to Kangana. The countdown has begun. Kangana is going to Mumbai. Is she being targeted for exercising her freedom of speech, or is she being used as a political pawn? Ultimately, it is the building to an epic face-off. Bureau Report, India Today.
So what's going to happen tomorrow? Kangana Ranaut has said she's coming. Is the Shiv Sena going to be all up in arms? What's going to be the line of the BJP? Till now they've said that they don't quite agree with her, but she needs security because there is a government which is vindictive going after her. And on the other hand, the whole talk about Y plus security, making Kangana one, viewers, please hear this out, one of 15 people in India to enjoy that level of security. Joining me this evening, Meghna Pant, author. I have Shaina NC, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and Nishant Verma, political analyst. I would also be joined in just about a short while with Rizwan Siddiqui. He is Kangana's lawyer. I want to begin with you, Shaina. The Shiv Sena is very clear that they're going to democratically protest Kangana entering Mumbai because, as per Shiv Sena, whether they've appropriated the Marathi pride or not, she's hurt Marathi pride. What's the BJP going to do?
Well, Kangana, like any other Indian, is entitled to an opinion. Now, I personally may not agree with what she said, and I feel that, yes, we must have a lot of respect for the state that we come from, whether it's the police or the administration. But having said that, she is entitled to her opinion. All along, she has been in the quest for finding out what has happened with this Sushant Singh Rajput case, because she believes there is a huge drug cartel in Bollywood, and I think that needs to be exposed in totality. It requires lots of guts to say what she said, and she's chosen to say it. Now, if you believe the counter narrative to that has to be that we will break your jaw, you are a haram khor, you are mentally unstable, this is not acceptable. I think that any woman, irrespective of who she is, she deserves the basic respect. This kind of terminology and dare and threat and this kind of abuse is not something that we in our country are going to tolerate, and that's why she's been provided security. I think you may agree with her, disagree with her, have an opinion, have a counter opinion, have a bias, that is your prerogative. But to suggest that she is not going to be allowed back in Mumbai, target her on flimsy grounds where you send the BMC to her property without a notice, without giving her any, a time to even prepare a reply, and then barge into her property and say, this is the kind of treatment we will give you. That is not on. This is not a banana republic. And remember that under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, we believe in political will being executed where law and order is not adhered to as a state subject. And in this particular case, I think she well deserves this cover, because it sets a precedent in the days to come that you cannot just be abusive with women. The Shiv Sena chose to believe this is an open and closed case. Obviously not. The CBI, the Narcotics Bureau, Enforcement Directorate have come up with so many different avenues and angles which are being investigated upon. And why did the Mumbai police say it is an open and closed case? Why was the autopsy report not having a time of death? All these are serious questions which have not just been raised by Kangana, but other citizens too. All right. So I think that you may disagree, have a debate, discuss, but this low life of threat, abuse is not acceptable.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to go across to our other panelists, but Shaina, I want to ask you one question. You say that it takes a lot of guts to try and expose the alleged Bollywood drug cartel. She's chosen to do so. Would you also reckon that the BJP ask her now to officially record a statement with the NCB, because all that she's done till now is spoken and not really put her money where the mouth is, which is to go ahead, record a statement with the central agency?
So, Preeti, I think there are 2 points. One is mental illness is a big disease. And yes, if you're going through, a psychiatrist and there is a prescription which says these are the drugs you're consuming, that is one aspect. But what Kangana has raised is the other angle, which is misuse or abuse of drugs, marijuana, how it is procured, where it is procured from, the money, the fixers.
So shouldn't she be recording this with the NCB? Give out the names.
Why not? Yes, but it's for the NCB to decide who they want to investigate. And I'm sure that if there is a question of her giving some light on what she believes is her stand, that will be taken as part of the evidence. And I don't think that she is.
I want to go to Nishant Verma, Shaina, because a lot of people can shoot and then scoot. To go there and record a statement is something else. Till now, Kangana has not done that. She's made very, very grave allegations, a lot of them. She's named stars. She's put names down. If you're going to malign people with names, ask them to take a drug test, then go to an agency and record that statement. Would at least anyone, in their right-thinking minds would suggest. I'm coming right back to you. I want to cut across to Nishant Verma, political analyst who's joining us. Nishant Verma, what's wrong by exercising your freedom of speech? You exercised your freedom of speech for 2 weeks, which Kangana did. She's slapped with a notice by the BMC, which is run by the Shiv Sena. And now, suddenly, an old statement by her former ex-boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, Adhyan Suman, has now been brought out, and a case is going to be lodged against her for drug consumption. Isn't this vindictive?
Your program is to the point. I'll remain to the point. China NC of BJP simplified it too much, because I definitely wish that all men, women, children of this country must be respected as well as made safe to live here. But then I discourage any protection or any support given to an anti-national. Safura Zargar was an anti-national for them, but Kangana Ranaut is I don't know what kind of a hero. China ji forgets that where she lives is controlled by Taliban, which for a very short duration has been under Shiv Sena, NCP, Congress rule. But then prior to that, the Talibani Devendra Fadnavis was ruling as per Kangana Ranaut, because it's Mumbai that has been compared to POK. Miss China NC did bring out Mr. Modi's name, and I suppose she should not have, because when we have anti-nationals going around and using their clout in order to come into limelight, then it should, instead of Y plus, she should have been actually taken care under national security threat. Because if you call any person or a uniformed agency in my country, Army, Air Force, Navy, Police...
No, but having said that, once again, it's freedom of speech. Kangana's made that clear, and to give her that benefit of doubt, she said she's not anti-Mumbai, she's anti-establishment. But having said that, I'm coming right back. I want to bring in Meghna Pant, and in a very short while, we'll also be joined by the lawyer of Kangana. Meghna, I want to bring you in a lot of talk about the security accorded to Kangana Ranaut. She's been given Y plus security, Meghna. Only 15 people in this country enjoy that. She enjoys today the same level of security, for example, the Chief Justice of India. But having said that, that same level of security has been accorded to the likes of Kapil Mishra, who's a small BJP leader embroiled at least in the Delhi riots here. But put all that aside. Let's even do a fair comparison. Let's bring out when, say, Deepika, as a woman, as an actor, was being targeted during the making or the release of Padmawat by the Karni Sena, where there was actual, violence. There was arson that could be seen. There were bounties on her head and her nose for 1 to 10 crores. One made by a office bearer of the BJP. All of that in question. Deepika Padukone gets a small security cover by the Maharashtra government, while Kangana here, till now there's been no violence, has got the Y plus security cover.
Exactly. I think, Preeti, what is happening here, I think a lot of people are not aware of this, but my personal feelings are, as a feminist, as a woman of India, as a daughter of this country, is that Kangana right now is misusing her power. She is abusing the clout that she has. She started off as an icon for feminists like me, for women like me, and she's unfortunately now started talking the language of thuggery. And I understand that her film career is not done as well as she expected it to. She has gone on record and said that her romantic life is not taking out. So it's very obvious to anybody in the public eye that she's making a political entry. But the fact of the matter is that she could have done this in a dignified way. She could have made a strong statement for women. That's something that she earlier used to stand for. She could have not used her political connections, the party that has clearly got her back. She didn't have to use them in order to, for her to push her own agenda. So I think she's been wrong on so many fronts over the last few months. It's really disappointing to me, and I hope the public can see through what she's actually doing. I think anybody
but that still doesn't. You can be wrong on every front, but that's freedom of speech. That still doesn't warrant a party or a state to say we're going to break your jaw or try and block your entry.
But I'm joined by when the Karni Sena destroyed cinema halls, when they destroyed film studios.
True, and we've made that comparison.
To assault Deepika Padukone.
We've made that comparison. I want to go to Rizwan Siddiqui. I'm just coming in, Meghna. I want to go to Rizwan Siddiqui. He's the lawyer of Kangana, and he's joining us. Rizwan Siddiqui, a notice, I believe, has been served by the BMC with the office of Kangana Ranaut. An old case now is going to be opened where Adhyan Suman had said she used drugs. What's Kangana's stand?
Well, as far as the drug angle is concerned, I'm not really aware about that. I can discuss the BMC part. The BMC has served her a notice and we have responded to that. I believe that they will not be taking any action because legally they can't do that. As a matter of fact, the notice was absolutely unwarranted. They entered the premises of Kangana Ranaut illegally by criminal force, by threatening the security guard, and this kind of entry is not allowed for any government servant. As a matter of fact, they have rendered themselves liable to be punished under Section 166 of IPC because they have caused injury to the name, reputation and mind of my client by getting access to the house in the absence of my client. They are supposed to follow a protocol. There is a procedure of law to be followed. And not only that, what is the most shocking part is that having got inside the house, the next day they paste the notice and they file a caveat. That's the best part, you know. I mean, they are taking this particular case not like a regular routine case, but they are trying to misuse their power, the dominant position for whatever their agendas. That is yet to be seen. We'll see that tomorrow.
Has the BMC, Mr. Siddiqui, said that they are going to tear the office down?
Well, they can't do that.
Have they said so? Because that's what Kangana said, that they threatened to tear the office down. Is that true?
See, I'll tell you what. As far as the claims of the BMC is concerned, first and foremost, the notice was absolutely unwarranted. It is a bad in law notice, and the protocol was not followed. Whereas with regards to the claims that they have made in the notice, that can be addressed legally, and we do not have anything to fear.
Was that claim made in that notice?
I'm absolutely stunned by the way the BMC has behaved.
Fair enough. Was that claim?
Sorry?
Was that claim made in that notice that they're going to take down the office, tear it down?
No, but I'll tell you what, when you give somebody a 24-hour notice by illegally getting into somebody's premises and give them this kind of an intimidation and threat without following a procedure of law, what does a layman understand? This is exactly what a layman would understand, that they'll come to my house and they tear it down, because this is exactly the words they have used with the neighbors. They are trying to create a situation of panic. They're trying to tell the people around that, you know, if you're having Kangana around in your society, everybody is going to be troubled. So is this more like a social boycott at the base of the BMC?
And we put that out there. How is it that the BMC has suddenly realized after a few weeks of Kangana on a war path against the Maharashtra government that there's something going on wrong in the office of Kangana Ranaut? I want to go back once again to Shaina NC, who's joining us. Shaina, with what even Meghna had picked up, a lot is being said about the vice security. It wasn't according to Deepika. Deepika had an immediate threat to her. Out of 15 people in the entire country, Kangana is one of them. The same amount of security she enjoys that the Chief Justice of this country enjoys. Is that fair?
Well, the Himachal government wrote to the Ministry of Home requesting for this security. And isn't she a daughter of India? A lot has been said about breaking some kind of pride, which is notional. You can disagree with her, you can debate with her, you can put her to task with a repartee. But this kind of underhand language, abusive temperament, saying we will break your jaw, you're mentally unstable. I personally may not even agree with what she said. But having said that, if she is entitled to security, so be it. It is a decision of the Himachal government who has written to the Home Ministry and the Home Ministry to provide. I think the way she is being targeted, whether it's the BMC sending notice after notice with no kind of, and the lawyer here has clearly said, Rizwan Siddiqui said that how the process of, you know, a social boycott. Please, what have we reduced ourselves to? Isn't this debate about
Meghna,
finding justice
if you're talking about Bharat ki beti and a daughter of India. Sorry, you know, Shaina, I'm just coming in. I just want to close this debate because we've all made our points and I want to bring in Meghna for 20 more seconds. Meghna, if you're talking about Bharat ki beti and women of India, and daughters of India, then it also concerns Deepika, it also concerns Riya.
Absolutely, Preeti. And I want to make a very quick point since we're closing that the only person I think who deserves security, that level of security right now in our country is Riya Chakrabarti. We've all seen her being manhandled by the media, being manhandled by people and security forces as well. I'm sorry to say this, but this is dirty politics at play. And unfortunately, the, you know...
Shaina, do you agree? Do you agree with the point that Meghna has made?
Look, I'm not sitting on judgment as to who is guilty and who is innocent, whether it was a suicide, an abetment, a murder. Let investigative agencies
let's
do
end
so.
on that.
But
Let's end on
Mumbai
that.
police chose not to, and that's why the CBI, the Narcotics Bureau, and the ED
All right, let's just end on that. Let's not get into that. Let's end on that. Let's the investigative agencies decide.
And if she is part of a drug scam, that needs to be brought out in the public domain.
Well,
isn't that the largest?
Okay, I'm going to close this debate. Okay, I'm going to close this debate. Appreciate you all for joining us, and thank you. Thank you. We're running really short of time. What we do know is, in minutes, we'll know whether Riya Chakrabarti has been given judicial custody or she's been given bail. Do stay with us. Up next is Rahul Kamal. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.